morning and welcome to Morning Moments. Thank you for joining us today. Today, I have somebody that I wasn't even aware that he lives in Virginia Beach. And I got this referral and I sent the invite out. Come to find out, he lives right in Virginia Beach. I have a director, a producer, a writer, been in the industry for many years, and he's owner of Bevento Productions.
Nice try. Benevento.
Benevento.
There you go. No, yeah.
He told me he's going to teach me Italian, and I thought lots of luck on that.
Yes, not the words my mother taught me though.
That's
But
good.
yes,
Well,
we'll keep it clean.
That's probably good not to have those words. So anyway, John Forte, welcome to Morning Moments, John.
Thank you so much, Andy. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah.
What a pleasure getting to know you and finding out a little bit about you. Could you tell me what do you do and why do you do it?
Well, I do a lot of writing. I do a lot of directing. I do everything from corporate to training to commercials to promos. I write TV scripts and I also write films. Typically, my individual projects, if I'm not being hired for something, I mean, I have a certain boundary that I'll do, but typically I want to present a decent and uplifting, not message per se, but a good story. I do think that it's important to do that, and storytelling is key to our existence as human beings. But let me just go back to Benevento, just why people go, what is that? So it literally means good wind, and I named it to honor my maternal grandfather. His last name was Pepe, P-E-P-E, and Michele. So I said, you know what? He came to America in the late 1890s, a coal miner, and then he moved to New York with my grandmother. So I wanted to honor him, and I thought that was very, very important. And that's why it's Benevento Pictures. But in any case, back to that. So I think that for me, it's always been story. It's always been what makes us tick. What's the best way of communicating things? Some of the most important things, everything, even in the Bible, stories. It's always been parables. It's never been a PowerPoint presentation. It's always been those things that uplift us. And I think that's important with movies. It's tough though when you're writing when you're deliberately trying to write a message. I think what's very important is the idea of creating a compelling story that captivates an audience, that they want to know more. And again, is there a payoff of redemption? Depends on the movie that you're doing, of course. Sometimes there is not that message of redemption that I'll write in there. But I've been writing a lot of shorts lately and getting funded by a wonderful producer, Mimi Lynn Productions, and she and I have actually combined in producing some of the things out there. So with the organization that I help as well, it's called CMAX, and CMAX is a streaming station, and it's right here in Virginia Beach. As a matter of fact, they do a myriad of programs, formation type stuff, and a lot of ecumenical things as well. And I have a program that I created called The Gospel According to Vinny. And Vinny is this very rough and tumble guy, but you find out that he learned from his immigrant Italian parents, but he went astray and actually did some prison time, but comes out and he's remembering those things. So but it's very light, very upbeat. And like one of the things he might say, and it's me doing the voiceover because the price is right, which is perfect. It's zero. So, but things like he'll say, hey, why didn't he say love one another? I mean, why didn't he say go grab a cup of coffee instead of love one another? That's hard, So it's those types of observations. And then CMAX has been doing, they're preparing this thing in 2033, which is the anniversary of the death of Jesus, if you will, or the Jesus on the cross. And it's an ecumenical movement. So again, I've been helping CMAX with that. But then I'm also a gun for hire, if you will. I don't like really using that phrase today, but I am a writer for hire and a director for hire. So that's basically me.
What could you share with my audience about the difference between a short and a long a long
Yeah, well,
film other
long as a
than the
feature. Well, the Oscars were just on Sunday night.
yeah.
So they honored shorts and they honored feature films. Typically, a feature film is over 90 minutes. And I don't know if you've seen any of those things. Like the Elvis movie was nearly 3 hours. It was a spectacle, if anything. Obviously with the budget of ridiculous,
Yeah.
but still, it was, again, it was really cool to watch. But those are features, and then shorts are anything under 45 minutes. And so with the short that I've done recently, Words, which is a comedy, um, literally about two hitmen who um, blow a hit, and but the one guy is talking to his buddy and using words that the guy's like, what is, and the friend gave him a word a day calendar. And so this mobster is using those words, and sometimes right, sometimes incorrect. And I won't give it away, but again, it's called Words, and we have about 7 awards right now
Oh,
for it.
good.
Yeah, the last one was the Florence Film Award, so
And,
that's cool.
and I think with the advent of streaming and the internet, shorts have really picked up where you didn't see them in theaters a lot,
No,
but
but they've been going on really, Andy, since the beginning of films. The one of the first films is the train coming at the station, and the audience, I think it's the early 1900s, and the audience went went crazy because
yeah,
they thought the train was coming at them.
yeah,
They had no idea. And again, now I don't know if we're sophisticated or numb, but sometimes we're numb. And I think that senses have changed with the glut of stories out there. Somebody may go, "Oh, I really like that," and there's a myriad of opportunities out there to watch stuff.
yeah. The Three Stooges were shorts. They were all shorts.
Without a doubt. Yeah,
Yeah,
Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, all that
yeah,
stuff. Yeah. Well,
sure.
I did shorts because I'm typically doing them in 2 to 3 days, and the money or the budget that we have is is good for that. So I'm working with incredible technicians and craftsmen and artists in the area, and we do have a number of them. They have been I've been a part of their life, and they've been a part of my life as well. And there's a mutual familial love and respect for each other, and so I enjoy working with a lot of those people. And you grow because when you collaborate, you learn from other people too. If you're
Yeah,
in a stasis, that nothing going on, then what is there to learn?
yeah.
So the craft is, it's not that the storytelling craft is changing, but it's the necessarily the way that it's sometimes being told. So
Yeah, yeah, and some, and I've seen movies that I've thought, you know, they took an hour and a half, 2 hours, and that story could have been told in a lot,
sure.
a
No,
lot
no, it's
short,
true.
a lot
It's
shorter
true.
time. Yeah,
Well, the interesting thing about art is our art form is it's there is subjectivity to it. Someone could say, "Oh my gosh, that was the greatest thing I've ever seen," and someone might say that I didn't understand that. I didn't get that at
yeah,
all. And I always find that fascinating. It's a great art form, filmmaking, because it's music and camera work, sometimes special effects, obviously acting, directing, and the finality of a movie or a short or a long whatever is not necessarily done when it's written. It's not necessarily done when it's produced. It's really done with the edit. That's the final draft, if you will. And editing, I know and I don't want to talk too technical here, but I'm talking in simplistic terms for me at least. So, but editing opens up the horizons of possibilities. It's almost like when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you have that either that epiphany or that feeling of what do I do? You go over different things in your mind. Well, in a movie, in a film, in a short, even in writing, if you don't write or shoot those possibilities, you can't edit it.
right.
So you need to at least explore that while you're writing, while you're shooting. But still, there's some amazing things that have happened, to me at least, in editing, when an editor has said, "Well, what if we did it this way?"
Yeah,
And it's good, it's humbling.
and to have the foresight as a producer director, I remember there's a couple shoots that I've done where the director kept saying, let's do this shot. I want to do this shot. Now come in this way, come in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, make up your mind. That's what I'm thinking. Now walk this way. But afterwards, they look at all those clips and they choose which one they like and what angle and what size.
Yeah, they want options. They want choice.
And the more you do, the more options you have to do that. And that's why people will never know all the things that lay on that editor's floor that never get seen.
Unless you're Hitchcock, who shot just like he storyboarded, which is, he said once he storyboarded, he said the movie was done for him. And I don't know geniuses like that, or whatever, but it's fascinating.
And when you have somebody that has a mind like that, it's amazing, isn't it? When you said something, you talked about the music in the films. I was just thinking, music, the same song, the same line affects different people, just like a movie.
It's a story,
it's the story. And it's amazing when you get a group of people that talk about a movie or book or anything. What did you get from it? And somebody will go, I didn't even see that in that movie. Did we see the same movie? What was that?
Right. Sure. I keep on, the reason why it's a wonderful discipline, writing, that is the challenge to make something come alive, not rote, not, I'll use an old phrase, hokey in some way where people don't understand. People go, oh my gosh, not again, that type of thing. I think the challenge of it all is, how do you come in to a story? And what I mean by that is also, when do you come into the story? So if I tell you the story about my life and I go, well, listen, I was born in Bergenfield, New Jersey, you might go, oh, that's cool. But I might start off with an incident that happened to me in high school, like why I really love and enjoy writing and directing, because I wrote a play with 3 other friends, because I was silly enough to say to a teacher, I don't like the plays that you're showing us in a book. I think I can write something better. And that audacity of a young 16-year-old kid, and I never directed a play before, and I directed the play, and because I just asked questions and said, what do they do? What does that mean? How do you get all that stuff going on? And we won, we actually won the best play, and I won best director, but I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but it was enough to titillate me to go to college with the idea of English and a theater degree. And then I was acting, and I was acting in New York for a number of years. And, but I had done a lot of summer stock. I've done probably over, 40, 50 plays, musicals. Those things affect you.
Right.
Yeah. And because you're like, what's going on? I'm not doing really what I want to do. What's happening? But it slowly affects you, and you go, you know what? This is the talent that I might have. So it's fascinating to me.
I always say we're the sum of our parts. And when you're seeking to be where you're supposed to be yesterday, it helps prepare you for today and tomorrow.
Sure.
And it's amazing how that transferable knowledge from all those years come out, and what you, when you start putting that together in your experience. Well, John, it has been a delight to have you on Morning Moments. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and what you do and why do you do it. I'm going to ask my audience to do something I ask of all my guests. As soon as this interview is over, I'd like for you to take a few minutes and pray for John. Pray that God would continue to bless him and help him to fulfill what the story and what he is supposed to be doing. He needs your prayers, folks, and you need to practice. So pray for John today. John, thank you so much for being.
Thank you, Andy. Very nice meeting you. And we're neighbors.
Yes. We'll have to have that coffee together sometime. How's that sound?
I like that. Yeah. Sounds good to me, man.
All right. Thank you, John. And thank you for joining us for Morning Moments. And if you would, keep coming back, and may God richly bless you.